Everyone, welcome back to the Kyo Codex. This the place where we dig deep into the stories behind Infinite Kingdom's most interesting players. I'm your host Kyoya, and today we've got a very special guest joining us live, Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth's name has been echoing through the servers, known for some bold moves, some serious battles, and yeah, a bit of that Olinar energy that keeps things exciting. Whether you love him or fear him, there is no denying this player's impact on the game. We're about to get into his journey, the battle that shaped him, the strategy that made him stand out, and maybe some secrets he's never shared before. Yawgmoth, welcome to the Kyo Codex. Ready to get into it?
I hope so.
So, the first question we have for you is that how did you first discover Infinite Kingdom and what hooked you in?
I feel like it's probably about the same as every other person, minus the nice Asian lady on Discord. I found all the advertisements for it, and then I figured it's one of them to finally hit, and I checked it out.
Uh,
Then I went through the long ride.
uh, it's probably a story for every player getting recruited. Which moment in your journey felt like the real turning point for you as a player?
The part where I just stopped taking the game as seriously as I did before. Because once I stopped taking the game as serious, I
Uh,
started to enjoy the game more for
they
what I like to do.
So you basically stopped caring about winning or losing and just playing how you wanted.
Yeah, and now I read everything as a profit or loss, statistic wise.
Nice.
Once you know the actual cost of war, then it's a lot easier to manage.
Yeah. What's the most intense battle or KVK you've been part of and what made it stand out?
I would say that the 209 56 fight that we had a
Uh,
long time ago,
what was
because
the details of the KVK?
well, to know the details of this KVK, you would have to know a little bit about me, as I used to be a person who jumps a lot from server to server.
Okay.
I would say my average server time span is about like 1 to 2 months at most before I jump to another server.
So
So
while you were in 209, you faced 56, is that correct?
yes, when I eventually moved from 45 to 209, that's when that was my first interaction with a super server in the case of both being in one and being against one at the same time, I would say. Because before that, I had managed to successfully dodge every super server in my bracket by Thunder.
Okay. Has there been a time when you almost quit IK and what pulled you back in?
That would be from the incident with INKA in our server 159.
What was that incident?
It was when I had absolute control of the server, and not a single person was happy or having fun in the server,
Oh,
including me.
yeah, I understand. If you could back, if you could go back to your first month in IK, what advice would you give yourself?
You need to run something with some water. Holy Jesus, that.
Understandable.
Attila sucks. Why'd you buy Attila? You could have bought Alexander with that.
True. If you had to describe your IK journey in 3 words, what would they be and why?
You gotta love thy neighbor.
Can you explain that term?
In a technical sense, love thy neighbor is always about treating those how you want it exactly to be treated. But the way I see it, in my perception, is that you want to treat everybody that you meet with respect and decency, because you'll never know when you'll be on the
Opposite.
receiving,
Yeah.
yeah, the opposite spectrum of that. You could have treated somebody poorly at some point in one KVK, and the next thing you know, you're gonna have to fight Gavin Milk, and you're not gonna be so pleasant to be around.
Yeah, truly. What's the boldest or riskiest move you made that actually worked?
Ooh, that is a great question. Honestly, I'd say it would be a mix between spearheading the KVK against INKA in our own color in KVK, and the fact that I decided to fully commit on the Shadow March, knowing that a lot of people had huge doubts that that march was ever a good one in the first place.
So basically gambles on your shadow, which is now is the best one.
Yes.
If you could erase one event or decision from INKA history, what would it be and why?
Gonna have to be the gradual Alexander buff started from when he got buffed in the first place on ult.
Oh,
Because it went from increasing his ult damage or his ult stats from 35% to 50%,
oh
and then
my.
every time after that, he's been getting mini buffs through every patch without people saying it.
Yeah, it's one of
So,
the most deepest and FP friendly models which can actually make a difference in your
like,
mark.
he used to be $6 immortal. If you got him on the first daily deal, he was $6. You can get all 60 cards on,
But now with
and the rest of that.
free to play, you can get it for
Oh
free.
yeah, oh yeah. Now you got him through. A lot of people don't know this, but you wouldn't be able to summon him. You wouldn't be able to summon them so easily in the harbor,
Yeah.
if at all. Having a character like Elsa, Alexander, and those bunches of groups with like Genghis Khan and the others was seen as a form of luxury rather than a power. Because these were like the tier characters you would never get when you were free to play back then.
Oh, tell us about a strategy or move you're secretly proud of but never talked about it publicly.
I tend to like as much as people think that I'm really nice in game, I very much am one of the people who will gaslight my enemies to do the absolute wrong choice. And my whole thing about making sure that people do the wrong choice is that I always make sure to follow some sort of ethical code on the diplomacy side too. Because one thing I don't tell people that is really obvious is that in the form of diplomacy, you never strike first. If you strike first, you're always in the wrong no matter what. It is just the rule of law in IK. I have no idea why it's the thing, but if you strike first, you are the most likely to be outed as the wrong person.
Okay, yeah, it is most common because then it's considered like someone was it could betrayals, shady business. It can be taken as in many forms.
Yes.
Last questions of our podcast today is that if all your past allies and enemies were put into one Discord voice chat, what's the first thing you would say to them?
All my past friends and enemies. This is a very interesting thing because a lot of my past friends and enemies either quit the game or maybe have returned not too long ago.
Okay.
So it'll be a quite interesting conversation to have with everybody, considering that my first question would be, what took so long to come back?
Right. So it wouldn't be let's say full of grudge voice chat or full of friendship voice chat. It will be a neutral questionnaire, right?
Hmm?
It wouldn't be full of grudge voice chat or a full of friendship. It would be a neutral voice chat. Yeah.
Oh yes, because there's a lot of people that I used to know that taught me how to play the game. They taught me how to sort out how to do what I need to do and know how to do it efficiently.
Nice.
Unfortunately, they don't play the game anymore.
So, last question is that I'm adding this question that since when are you playing Infinity Kingdom and what was your first server?
I've been playing Infinity Kingdom for I think 1,215 days ago.
Okay.
I was one of the first few people in server 159 the day it was created.
Okay.
There's still an active server, and surprisingly, they have dodged the the threat of merge, which I think is pretty impressive as itself, because that server has never usually been a large server in the first place.
Hmm. It could be. So, alright, that's a wrap for today's episode of the Kyo Codex. Huge thanks to Yawgmoth for sharing these epic stories and insights. Definitely one of the most interesting journeys I've ever heard in Infinite Kingdom. To everyone watching, if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future episode. Got questions or want to suggest guests? They'll welcome in or reach out to me directly. Until next time, this is Kyoya signing off. Keep playing smart and may your battles be legendary.